Back in September in 21, when I first started the paperclip, I actually wanted to have the first cycling magazine in the Middle East, for the Middle East, by the Middle East. But I ran into a few hurdles. A lack of budget to go traveling to document all these stories. So I was like, oh, I'm going to reach out to people throughout social media to see if they wanted to share their stories. But not everybody had a really good camera or the time or the will to write about their stories. And I was like, you know what? 4 years after the fact or 5 years after the fact, maybe I should do it. And I just like honestly just sat down and did it. Everybody donated their time, everybody donated their skill, because the whole idea was to fill up two buckets to pay creatives for the second round and to donate part of the proceeds. Let other people's stories guide the way I wanted to do this, the first edition. The people who made it into the first edition were really passionate about their stories. They wanted their stories out. They were like, I think this is important for people to read because of X, Y, and Z. And I was like, you know what? That actually is important. Some of these stories, don't really get a lot of light because they're not epic. I think I remember telling you at the happy hour, I didn't put any stories about somebody riding 1,000 miles in 24 hours or, 48 hours or whatever, because I think that has its place, but I wanted the stories to be human forward. I wanted the humanity, the failures, the struggles, the fun part, all of the other stuff that kind of fall in between the cracks to show up. And honestly, once you look through these uncovered stories, there's just a sea of stories out there to choose from. The Gaza Sunbirds, I reached out to the team because I wanted them to submit a photo, and they ended up submitting the featured story of this magazine. Their story is amazing. The fact that they escaped and they're struggling throughout the world as refugees, just like overcome the struggles as a para athletes, with one leg, trying to beat the odds, and they did, and they keep on doing it. That story I resonate with. Cycling is the glue. It's not necessarily the main story, which is something that I really liked. I'm hoping that this would inspire people from all over the world, not necessarily just from the West, to share stories, even though if it's not as big or as epic as the Pyrenees or the Rockies and all that. It's just like, I wanted to bring it back to their own world. What I really hope they would take out of this is connectivity, that everybody has a shared struggle in some sense, but also like that struggle is what makes us us.